Hey, what's up? So here's how much money you can actually make by working part-time jobs while you're a student out here in the United Kingdom. So a lot of us think and calculate before coming out to the United Kingdom that the minimum allowable work is 80 hours, and then we find the minimum wage and then calculate 80 hours into the minimum wage, which adds up to about 80,000 rupees or 800 pounds in a month. But you'll soon find out that you won't be able to make all of the 80 hours in each month because you also have a course to complete. So that's what I found out when I started working here. I started out by wanting to work 80 hours every month to make as much money as I can to support myself. I even tried, but the maximum amount of hours that I could work while I was studying in term time was about 65 hours, and that was the most. I tried really hard and that was the most, and that is because you also have all these other responsibilities like your project work. You've got to cook, you've got to socialize and all the other stuff, so you won't be able to work 80 hours every month. So now that's out of the way. So I'm gonna start talking about some of the part-time roles that I've held and how much money I made, what the work hours look like. So if you'd like to find out what it is like to work some part-time jobs in the United Kingdom, watch until the end. So one of the first jobs that I held was being a security assistant. The security assistant job is basically supporting the security team in the university. So my university used to have events every Wednesday and every Saturday. So about 20 people would be, providing security for the event. So our responsibilities would be making sure nobody's running around, nobody's fighting, because people are drunk and stuff. So basically ensuring safety, and we were also trained up on what to do in case of a fire. So stuff like that. The shifts were 8 hours long. Sometimes the shifts could be 6.5 hours as well, depending upon the rota. Sometimes for the entirety of the 8 hours, you wouldn't get any breaks. You'd have to stand for most of the 8 hours. So it can be a bit tiring. When it comes to the pay, so if you're less than 25 years old, you get about 8.5 pounds an hour. If you're over 25 like me, you get about 9.5 an hour. You can look up the national minimum wage. It keeps changing as well. The shifts would be night shifts. So the party would start at 8 p.m. in the night and go on up till 4:30 a.m. in the morning. You also gotta go back to your place, relax, and by the time you fall asleep, it's about 6 a.m. in the morning. So you wake up really late the next day, and the following day is also, almost wasted. You may not get a lot of work done because you're tired. At maximum, I've done about 56 hours in a month, and as you can see on the payslip. The next job that I'm going to talk about is being a student ambassador. So this job is a day job. So this job has varying hours, but you only work when there is an event going on in the university. For example, an event can be an open day where students come in to look at the university, the facilities, talk to current students who are the student ambassadors, to find out what it is like to be a student in that university. So the shift can be 5 to 6 hours long, and you'll basically be speaking to people, signposting people, taking them on tours around the university, talking about the facilities and stuff. So it's a job that's going to be heavily reliant on your communication skills, and it's going to improve your communication skills as well. And also a lot of recruiters, they look at recruiting student ambassadors because they know that student ambassadors are good at communication. Pay was 10 pounds an hour, and since, like I said, you only work when there's an event happening, you don't get a lot of hours. So I would make about 60 to 80 pounds each month. That's about it. Some months I didn't even get a student ambassador shift. So the next job is kitchen assistant. So since I was a security assistant, I was also allowed to apply for kitchen assistant shifts. So kitchen assistant shifts can go from 4 hours to 6 hours long. So some of the duties that you will be carrying out are washing dishes, cleaning the kitchen once the shift is over, or when the kitchen's closing up. You'll get to make pizzas. I learned how to make a pizza, which was really interesting, and I found out how pizzas are, overrated in terms of the price, because it is so easy to make them. You'll also have to make burgers. You'll also learn how to make most of the stuff on the menu, which can be nice. The pay is the same as a security assistant job. You get the minimum wage depending upon how old you are. The next job that I'm going to talk about is, so this job is something that I stumbled upon. It was not, I didn't find this job on a job board like Indeed or anything. So I applied for an entirely different job, and when I went there and I spoke to the managing director of the organization, he offered me a special job which was called as quality improvement specialist. So what I had to do was look at their processes. So they had a lot of paper forms, and their processes were heavily outdated because nobody had improved them. So I took a look at their recruitment procedures. I improved their forms. I made them all digital using Google Forms. So these are some of the stuff that I did, and it was a desk job. It was a 9-to-5 job, so I had to work for 2 days in a week. I would get paid around £10 an hour, which was really good, and it was a day job as well, so it fit really nice with my schedule. The next job is called being a healthcare assistant. So healthcare assistants are basically nurses, but not entirely, because you don't have a certification. So what you do is you look after people with disabilities or people who are very old who can't look after themselves. So some of the tasks that you will be doing are, cleaning up their kitchen, making them breakfast, giving them sponge baths, also taking them shopping, speaking to them, making them drinks, serve them coffee. So basically everything that you do to look after an old person or somebody who's unable to do their household chores. So the pay was £11 an hour. These shifts were 12 hours long. Well, some shifts can be lesser than 12 hours, but most shifts are 12 hours long, and it can be a long day. But if you get a night shift, it's really nice because once your client goes to sleep, for about 8 or 9 hours, you're free to do whatever you want. So what I would do was I would work on my university projects and get paid at the same time, which was a win-win. I guess it isn't for everybody, but there are perks of being a healthcare assistant. So if you're doing a medical course or something related to medical, this is definitely something that you should check out. Next job is being a delivery guy for Just Eat or Deliveroo or Uber. There are multiple ways you can do this job. If you have a bike, you can use your bike. If you have a car, you can use your car. But if you don't have anything, they'll provide an electric cycle for you. But since this is the United Kingdom, the weather can be very unpredictable. So it can be really sunny one day and it can start raining instantly. So you gotta be ready for any sort of weather. And in the winter, it can get really cold. So you'll have to ride a cycle or a bike out in the cold. The shifts can be 5 hours long, 4 to 5 hours long. The pay is really good. They pay minimum wage plus mileage. You can see on the pay slip, I got about £3 in mileage. You also get order delivery bonus. So for every order that you deliver, you get about 50 pence, which is like 50 rupees. The more orders you complete, the more bonus you get. Probably something you should check out as well if you are a fan of the outdoors and if you don't mind, the cold and the climate changing as it wishes. There are other jobs as well, which I wasn't lucky enough to try out. So you can be a store assistant in supermarkets, help people check their stuff out, which can also be nice because you're in a sheltered environment. You can also be a bar assistant, which is also pretty cool because you'll get people chatting you up a lot. And there can also be packaging jobs for companies like Amazon or Royal Mail, where sometimes if you work night shifts, you get paid up to £14 an hour, or that's what I've been told. But you'll have to work in a warehouse, and I'm told that it can get hot sometimes, or it can also get very cold sometimes. So these are some of the jobs that I'm aware of. Apart from this, there are loads of other jobs as well, but usually most of these jobs pay minimum wage. I would say that if you're somebody who is thinking that they can make a lot of money working part-time jobs to pay off the student loan and stuff, I'm afraid that would be very hard. and you'll only make enough money to probably, pay your bills and probably afford your groceries if you live below your means. But that's about it. You won't be able to save any money or pay off your student loans or anything of that sort. So this has been a brief review of the part-time jobs out here in the United Kingdom. I hope this serves as a guide to anybody that's looking to find part-time jobs. I hope you enjoyed the video, and like always, if you have any questions and comments, please drop them in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. Let's have a conversation. Also check out my channel description to find a list of all my socials if you want to connect with me. Thanks for your time. Peace.